Okay, let's get started. Today, I want to sit down with you and talk honestly about what's happening in NTE version 1.2. Specifically, the two characters that the entire community is paying the most attention to right now, Shinku and Iroi. I'm not going to overhype anything. I'm going to clearly separate what's official, what's leaked, and what's purely speculation because I think you deserve a straightforward discussion rather than getting swept away by a mess of mixed information and ending up not knowing what to believe. First, I want to talk about the bigger picture for a moment. Right now, the game is still running version 1.1, with plenty of content currently live, including the Hethereau Special Gift Pack, the Porsche collaboration, Bagel Creator, Underground Circuit, and Hunter's Crucible. In other words, version 1.1 is still ongoing, and NTE has not officially announced version 1.2 through a preview special program like they did for version 1.1. I'm bringing this up because I know many of you are wondering why information about version 1.2 seems both abundant and incredibly confusing at the same time. The answer is simple. Most of what is circulating right now comes from the community and leaks, not from official announcements. But here's the interesting part, and this is exactly why I'm making this video. NTE Global has started doing something very noticeable on their official YouTube channel. More specifically, they have released Hethereau Special Bulletin shorts for both Shinku and Iroi. This is official content. It's not fan-made, it's not a leak. It's content that NTE themselves uploaded to their official channel. And if you're familiar with how NTE usually operates, whenever they start giving a character this kind of spotlight, it typically means that character is being prepared for release in the near future. So far, this is the clearest official marketing signal I've seen regarding these two characters. In that short spotlight, Shinku has a line that I actually really like. If you're just looking to kill time, you came to the wrong person. Just hearing that line alone gives you a pretty good sense of the character's vibe. As for Iroi, her line is, "I heard some cultures think goats are evil." I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, it's both funny and surprisingly intriguing. It immediately makes me curious about her lore, and what kind of story might be behind a character who says something like that. Either way, the main point I want to emphasize is this. Both of these characters are currently being officially promoted by NTE, and that's something you can confidently trust. Now let's move on to the part that most of you are probably here for, their kits. And this is where I need to be completely honest with you. Most of the information currently circulating about Shinku and Iroi's kits comes from leaks and community breakdowns. As of now, we don't have official patch notes or any extended official gameplay footage from NTE that fully confirms everything being discussed. I know there are a lot of videos out there presenting this information as if it's already been completely confirmed, but if you actually take the time to fact check it, you'll quickly notice that the line between official information and leaks has become pretty blurry. So before we go any further, it's important to keep that distinction in mind. So, what is the community actually saying about Shinku? Based on the information currently circulating, Shinku is believed to belong to the Cosmos class CSU-2, and her kit is said to revolve around mechanics such as Fury and Frenzy, with a possible skill called Breath of Ruin. If that's accurate, it sounds pretty interesting. At least in theory, a kit like that could create a very aggressive, fast-paced playstyle with a lot of momentum behind it. But once again, I want to emphasize this point. All of that information comes from leaks and community analysis, not from official patch notes. So take it for what it is, early information that may have some credibility behind it, but could still change before any official release or confirmation. As for Iroi, the community currently places her in the Anima category, CSU-2, and according to the leaks, Iroi is expected to be a healer and buffer. Some leaks even mention a summon mechanic involving goats, which fits perfectly with the goat lore hinted at by her quote earlier. If this information is accurate, Iroi could be a very utility-focused support, capable of healing, buffing, and bringing an additional summon mechanic to the team. That sounds pretty appealing if you're looking for a flexible support for your roster. As for the phase order, many people are saying that Shinku will be released in Phase 1 and Iroi in Phase 2 of version 1.2. I don't have any reason to say that information is definitely wrong, but at the same time, I haven't seen NTE officially confirm that order anywhere. So if you're planning your pulls, keep that in mind. Now let's talk about what I think is the most important part for you. How to make a reasonable pull decision when the available information is still incomplete. I see a lot of people in the community feeling pressured to decide right now because they're afraid of missing out on something. But the reality is that when NTE hasn't published an official preview program for version 1.2, when the patch notes aren't out yet, and when there isn't any extended official gameplay footage to verify these kits, any pull decision you make right now is based on incomplete information. I'm not saying you shouldn't be excited. Being excited about Shinku and Iroi is completely reasonable because both characters look very promising. I'm simply saying that you should save your final decision until more official content becomes available. Specifically, I would wait for the official version 1.2 preview program or live stream, at least the patch notes, or when the in-game banner notices start appearing. Those milestones will give you solid enough information to pull with confidence. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm observing and waiting. I'm focusing on version 1.1 content to farm resources while keeping an eye on NTE Global's channel to see if they drip any additional information. Because experience has shown that when NTE starts a drip campaign like this, more official content usually follows within the next few weeks. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is how we approach information within the NTE community as a whole. Leak culture has always existed alongside gacha games, and I'm not denying that it has value. But I think you deserve to know what is official, what is leaked, and what is purely speculation, so you can judge the reliability of each type of information for yourself. That's something I'll always try to make clear in my videos, not to make things less exciting, but to help you stay excited in a smarter way. To sum it all up, the most certain thing I can say today is that NTE has officially started spotlighting Shinku and Iroi on their global channel, and that's the clearest signal we've seen so far. As for their detailed kits, the phase order, and the final meta verdict, those are still things that require further confirmation. I know that's probably not the answer many of you want to hear right now, but I'd rather prioritize accuracy than overhype something that could change later. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Are you Team Shinku or Team Iroi? I'm genuinely curious to see which side the community is leaning toward. And as always, I'll see you in the next video when more official information from NTE becomes available.